The Gallows is a movie released in 2015, starring Reese Mitchell, Pfeiffer Brown, Ryan Shoes, and Cassidy Gifford, and directed by Travis Clough and Chris Lothing. Again, we are in the found footage genre of horror, this time with The Gallows. It's a more up-to-date version almost of, I would say, quite close to the Blair Witch in the fact of you have a legend that looms over this whole story. It isn't marketed as true to life as what the Blair Witch is. However, it is a case if you've got a group of students who, on the eve of a performance of a play called Gallows being performed by the school, by the drama department at the school, it's led up by Pfeiffer, they intend to go into the school and dismantle the set and sabotage it because Reese is scared about performing it badly. And the fact the only reason he's in the play is because he's got a crush on Pfeiffer. That is the initial concept of this movie. Now, the legend that comes with it is that the reason why the Gallows hasn't been performed since the very first time is because way back in the day, a guy called Charlie Grimmel was essentially the victim, was the main lead, where he gets hanged at the end. An accident happened where he was hanged for real and died. And it's believed that he or his spirit curses that production. So that's why it hasn't been done, but Pfeiffer has been instrumental in having that performance played once again to try and break the tradition of not having it there. The students go in, led by Ryan, and for whatever reason they decide to film it, and I'll get onto it in a minute in more detail, but that is a major gripe for me as to why that is. But throughout it, they do sort of start to work their way through. They do try to sabotage it. They're caught by Pfeiffer, who joins their group because they're trying to get out, and they find that they're locked in the school. Nobody knows why, because the way they went in was open before. No one can explain why it's now suddenly locked until it's revealed that the spirit of Charlie is out to get them, is stalking them, trying to kill them. And that is the basic plot of this movie. Now, when I watched this movie in the cinema, I was freaked out. I'm not going to lie. Some of the imagery of this is quite terrifying. The found footage element, they don't use cameras, they use phones, as you'd expect in 2015. But it just adds a more claustrophobic feel, especially when they start to go into environments such as a cloak cupboard or an old sort of storage cupboard, things like that. So there's not much room for maneuver. You can't really see what's going on, and the actors or the characters will always move the phone around with them, so you can't see anything more than what they can see. You can't see anything beyond the border of their phone. So because of that, you are constantly imagining what could be there, and you don't actually see what's going on until Reese comes across Charlie. And that's the point where you see the shadowy figure holding a hangman's noose, and oh my god, that is terrifying. That for me got me straight away. I'll hold my hands up and admit it. And the movie is quite good at keeping that terror going. Especially when when you look at it, there's only four of them. There's only four people involved. So realistically, there's a maximum of four victims in this movie. There is a bit of a twist later on. I'm not going to ruin that. But there is a little bit of a twist that feeds into why this whole plot has happened in the first place. But there are some holes in this. As much as I enjoyed this movie, there are some glaring holes. Now, one thing I've always said about found footage movies is that you have to have a reason why you're filming. For me, Paranormal Activity, the first one, I think does it the best. Because you've got, in that plot, you've got paranormal activity going on, but nobody knows when it's going to happen. So the whole logical thing to capture it all is to keep the camera running all the time. They leave the house at one point, they leave the camera behind, it doesn't go with them the entire time. So all of that does make sense as to why everything is captured. Blair Witch fails, so does this. You have to ask yourself the question of, you're a high school student and you're filming bits around high school for a project. Fine. You're breaking into a school, why are you filming it? Why are you possibly worried about being caught, but at the same time filming what you're doing? Again, they start destroying parts of the stage. They hear a noise and they start panicking and try and hide, but they're still filming it. Why are you filming what's going on? It doesn't make any sense. And yeah, for me, that is the major plot hole in this. Again, it's just a shameless cash grab into that genre. And I think, to be honest, it could have done well without being found footage. It could have just been a standardly shot movie. But they lent into that novelty, and unfortunately, it doesn't really quite work Having said that, this movie does have some very good things going for it. The performances in this are absolutely fantastic. The pacing in this is very, very good. It's a slow burn, but in that sort of beginning part, you understand the background behind this myth, this legend, and you get a few red herrings, which I'm not normally a fan of, but it does sort of make sense of the fact of, what's going on. The fact they're in a school after hours, it could be anything going on, so people are dismissing it, and then there's no dismissing it at all. And yeah, I mean, those bits are well done. There are a couple of other twists as well in this movie that, do add to that lore of the whole thing. It does tie into why certain characters are involved in this story. And again, I really like that because it just suddenly unravels another layer to this story. And I'm always a sucker for that. Even if I can't explain why they're filming, why it is a found footage movie, I'm always going to be a sucker for something like that. So because of those reasons and the fact that I've always enjoyed it, I can always put it in and expect myself to be scared. Don't ask me why I choose to do that, but I do. But at the end of it, for me, it's 3 stars. So that was my review of The Gallows. What did you guys think about it? Have you guys seen it? What have you guys thought? Please pop it in the comment section below. As always, thank you very much for watching this video. I will be back to upload another one shortly, but until then, you guys take it easy and I'll catch you on the next one.